Alright, guys, welcome back to another class. And in this class, we will be talking about the principle of alignment and contrast. So, don't forget the the series we've been talking about through this classes has been the introduction to design, the design secrets, and we've been talking about how to make your design better. Yeah, so we already have two classes, and if this is your first class, I would advise that you probably go through the um, other two classes to see what you missed, because truth be told, every single thing that is said in this class is actually very important. So you can't to some extent do without one or two things that are said in the other classes. So it would be very advisable for you to go and check them out, understand some of those stuffs, some of what has been said, because um, yesterday, that's the previous classes, or let me say the previous class, the immediate previous one, we talked about balance and how to use balance in our designs. This is where we talked about balance, um, asymmetric balance and symmetrical balance, and we talked about radial balance, and we gave example of balance in every type of design, how to use symmetrical balance for your flyer, how to use asymmetrical balance for your flyer, and also, and we gave a lot of examples. So if you are just joining us and you think it's still going to be very important for you to know everything, so you can do it to go back a bit and start from the beginning of the class. So without me wasting too much of your time and mine, let's just jump into today's class. And in today's class, we'll be talking about um, the principle of alignment and contrast. If you remember yesterday, or if you do not remember, you can go back and watch. Yes, in the previous class we talked and we said um, principles are the how of doing design. So they are ingredient of doing designs, which are the elements like your typography, like your shapes, like your colors. Those are ingredients that you put together in your design. However, these ingredients can be used in producing different results depending on how professional uh, whoever is handling those ingredients is. Okay, so the same way it is for every other stuff, like every other profession, that's the same way it is for um, designers too. So you could probably have the best laptop, you could probably have the most beautiful design interface or design software, even if you use Photoshop or you use Canva. If you don't understand how to use the software, like if you don't understand how to put together designs, the person that is using their phone could beat you that you are using a desktop, a very fast Mac desktop. So it is important that you understand principle, and we talked about balance yesterday. So today we're going into alignment and contrast. So first we'll be talking about alignment. Now, what is alignment? You see, first thing first, you need to understand that there are some principles in designs that you cannot do without. There are some principles in design that you cannot do without, because you see, most especially principles like alignment, it is so important that on every important document or on every official document, you would have to use alignment. You have to align it. If you are coming from Microsoft Word, or you've used Microsoft Word, or you've typed something before, You would understand when they say use left margin, right margin, or center margin. So this is just them telling you to align it properly. So to define um, alignment, we can just say alignment in its basic term is making sure that all your design elements are following the same axis. So that's the most basic term for alignment, that all of your design elements are following the same axis. So I said here, I said alignment, which is another word you can use for alignment for me is assemble, you know. So when I say assemble this on the same axis, it's the same thing. When we are in secondary school, there's something called assembly time, where every class has to go, like we have to be on the same line. You have to file the shortest to the highest, you know. So I think to some extent the arrangement of students in secondary school is like aligning them. So that's the same way it is: alignment, assemble, arrangement on the same axis. So it's a very lovely design principle that if you understand it, it will take you from wherever you are currently, and it can times 10 your your design your design generally. It can times 10 what your design looks like generally. So I said, yeah, I said, yeah, and, like the principle, this principle, that's the principle of alignment, makes one of the major difference between pros and beginner. When I started also, I was doing some things quite right, but I think it got to a point that um, big companies, or let me say able bodies, they don't want to give me their job because they look at my job and say there is nothing aligning in this job. Everything is just scattered. You, one thing is somewhere, one thing is another place. And this problem, after I overcame it, I begin to see the problem, like the pattern of that problem with most beginners now. Do you understand? So alignment, not getting how to put your, where to put what, how to make sure that your design are following the same axis. It's a big problem in design for beginners. Yeah. So the truth is, when I started working with Ilorin Innovation Hub, there was this major problem that I face every single time. There was this major problem, which is the problem of not aligning my my designs well. So every single time, my boss is always complaining like, "You are a designer. You should understand this. You are a designer. You should understand how to use alignment." And I don't know how my boss used to know. It's just something he used to see and say, this stuff is not aligned. Can you align this circle to this place? Can you do this and this to this? I was like, sir, how did you see those things? That's because most of these people that you want to work with, they are professionals, and um, they will not let you make them look like unprofessionals because you are not aligning your stuff well. You understand? So, and that's why I almost got fired every single time I get complained that. So I had to go and sit down and learn how to align well. Do you understand? Okay, so um, the truth about alignment is alignment helps people get comfortable when they are going through your design. Just like balance, alignment helps people get comfortable when they are going through your design. Alignment is so important that you need to always apply it when writing all these formal letters, or when you are trying to prepare important documents. So in every profession, every single profession, whether you're a bricklayer, whether you are a plumber or this thing, every single profession uses alignment, but it might just be in different term for every one of them. It's my the only profession I see that don't use alignment is maybe people that cook, you know. So imagine people that cook are supposed to use alignment. How would what would they align? Align the rice to the beans or align the fish to the stew? So, anyways, apart from those guys, I believe every other person, every other profession uses alignment a lot, you know. So that's why you see bricklayers, especially when they are building structures that are going to be very tall, they start their alignment even from the foundation. They make sure that whatever they are doing must plumb well. They call it there's this gauge they used to take up and down, you know. So it's just for proper alignment. So alignment is so important that every person, every profession has to use it. So to simply define alignment again, we can say is the act of making all the elements of your design settle on the same axis, you know. So uh on the if you look at this design now, you will realize that almost all the elements of my designs are settling on the same axis, apart from this guy that is down here. You would realize this. So this is alignment is so important that sometimes you just you just have to make every of your this thing align on one side of your design. So that's alignment for you. So making all the elements of your design settle on one axis or on a particular axis of your canvas. So you know there are different type of alignment here. There are different type of alignment, but we are going to be talking about in this class. We are going to be talking about three. We're going to be talking about three. We have the left alignment, we have the right alignment, and we have the center alignment. So in this video first, let's talk about what we call the left alignment. So we'll be doing designs, and we are going to be getting some elements online. We are going to be downloading some elements. We are going to be using some extra elements today. So now over here, let's say let's remove this. Let's remove this. Now these two canvas are going to be used to differentiate um, two different type of design. Now we are going to be making a design without alignment here. We are going to be making a design with alignment on the other canvas. So let me just write it over here. Design without alignment. Okay, alignment. And this one is going to be designed with alignment. So design with alignment. So on this canvas now, let's make a design and say we are going to make series of designs. Let's say I have let's say I want to make a design for a chef. Is it chef or chef? Whichever. You guys understand what I'm trying to say. So let's say we want to make a simple design for someone that cooks, and the person is trying to do cookathon, just like Chef Dami now. Chef Dami or Hilda Basi. Let's say Chef Dami wants to do a cookathon, and we just want to make a simple design for her. The design is going to be plain. There's nothing that is going to come on it. It's just going to be a very plain design. Let's say cook athon, or how is it spelled? Is this, I don't know. You guys should you understand what I'm trying to do. So let's say this is Chef Dami's cookathon, and we what we're trying to do is just see how to use alignment. You know, So we're just trying to see how to use alignment. And let's say Kukaton. Oh my goodness, my laptop is slowing down. I don't know why. Anyways, so Kukaton by Chef Dami. Okay, you guys just have to Kukaton with Chef Dami. Okay, Kukaton with Chef Dami. Let's say this is we have we have some of this, and let's just go online and download picture of image. Um, okay, I think the internet is slow also. What's going on these days? So let's put PNG so that we can get one without a background image. Guys, but we are just trying to see how to make alignment, and what I'm trying to do is create realistic designs now, guys, so that it will not look as if we've been creating the same simple element all this while. A lot of you wants to start using you want to start using images. You guys want to start using images, and sometimes if we don't understand how to google things, it may not come easy. Like designing it may not come easy. So let's just OMG, this is frustrating. This is really, really frustrating. Okay, let's just go back. Let's wait for that. And Kukaton with Chef Dami. And let's put the date. Let's put the date. Apologies, guys. This is I don't know why this is just getting slow these days. Okay, so 20th to 27th April. Um, and let's see what exactly is the Kukaton going to be. Hmm, 30 hours. Now this is going to be a simple design. We would be adding other we'll be adding other principle of design later on. We'll be adding. I don't want to rush us because immediately I start making some things on this design, you guys will get confused. That's the annoying truth. You get confused, and I don't want a situation where I will start using the principle of contrast, the principle of hierarchy, uh, and you don't understand what exactly I'm doing. So all I'm going to be doing is just using, or let me say, doing the design, and I'll be altering the principle I'm supposed to use. Do you understand? I will be altering the principle that I am supposed to use. So, mm, Okay. And later on, you guys will understand the reason why I use just two fonts a lot. Later on in the class, you understand why I use just two fonts a lot. It is not an easy thing to sit down and say I want to use just two fonts, but uh it is something I have come to decide and say, okay, all of my design, if there's no need for me to, if it's not needing higher, if it's not requiring any extra this thing, there's no point using extra fonts. So right now, all I have to do is just use my font, use the two type of fonts that I love using, which is the Bebas, Abi Bibas. Some people call it Bibas, and maybe Poppins, and some other cool fonts, sure. But basically, I don't have many fonts on my. In fact, if you are not careful, you will not get any font from my system. So let's go back. Is this ready? Okay, I think we are ready here. Um, let's see what image could do this right. Or image. Oh my god. So this is another reason why we've not been having our classes as we should, because the internet has been so annoying for days. Like, in fact, for weeks now, the internet has been so annoying. So we just have to we just have to manage with what we have, so that, let me see if I can get hold of this woman. Okay, I think I'm loving what I see. And how do we download this? Okay, come there and click the download. It's free. This image is actually free, so you guys can come on here, pngegg.com, to download some of your images. It's to some extent free, and all you have to do is just I think you reference them, or you can buy them a coffee. I don't know how they, but I think there's a way you can reference them. So don't use any image anyhow, please. This is just for tutorial purposes alone. This is not something I'm going to be using for commercial purposes. So once I click I am a human, okay, I was asked to click on 3T9 and S. So you check here. mm, oh my god, are you serious? For what kind of thing is this? 5Z? Are you joking? No, 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 I have to get this again. We have 3, we have Z, we have V, and we have P. Are you joking? Okay, finally, I'm human. I'm not robot. So let's get this done. I'm just trying to make sure that you guys understand how design works generally. I could have fastened most of this part. Like, I could have downloaded the video, put it on the stuff, and everybody just, but because I want it, the class is supposed to be live, and if this is a live class, this is the normal thing we're gonna be doing. If this was actually a live class, this is the normal thing we're gonna be doing. So, and that is why I am trying to make it as live as possible, so that you can relate. And if there's any question, again, if you registered for this course, if there's any question, you can ask on the WhatsApp group. And if you peradventure did not register for this course, you can just drop us. You can drop the question in the comments. You can drop your question in the comment section. So for this, I've downloaded this, so I can just drag and drop it in my in my Corel Draw application. So we have Jeff Dami marathon, 30 hours cookathon with Jeff Dami. Can you come down a bit? OMG, everything is just, I don't know what is going on today, guys. Okay, so finally, let's give this some beautiful colors. Let's give just some shade of the same colors. Mm, mm. Yeah. Let's give this an accent color, and this can have the same color as this dude right here. Okay, all right. So it's not in its best. This design is not in its best, but we're going to drag it to its best very soon, because this design is meant to change the concept of whatever is here. So let's say we have something like this. We have something like this here, and this is here. This and this also centering each other. Let's say this and this are centering each other like this. Yeah, there are a lot of people that makes their design like this. In fact, I've seen a lot of designs like this, and it's annoying. I've seen a lot of designs like this, and it's so annoying. And you'll be like, okay, Oga, come. You get, in fact, this design has a lot of principle of design that makes sense. You've gotten some other principles right, but why is your alignment wrong? Why are you not using the principal alignment rightly? And how do you correct this design to give you um, a sweet design that calls attention? Now, I said earlier, I said we have three types of alignment. We have three types of alignment. And the first type of alignments that we said we have is the left margin, the left alignment. Left alignment. So this, we are going to be doing the first left alignment with the same information that we have here. We're going to be doing the left alignment with the same information. And how do we achieve left alignment? Is by putting, I said earlier that we alignment is placing all the elements of our design on the same axis. So all we have to do is just drag out our line here, drag out our line here, and bring it close to this. Now, I used to tell a lot of my students something about um, an hidden principle. So, and this is why you should watch videos and stop skipping. So, there is an hidden principle that a lot of people don't talk about. There's alignment, but there's an hidden principle that a lot of people don't talk about. And that hidden principle has separated a lot of us from one another. In fact, there are some professionals that also have the same problem. And the principle is the principle of margin. I know alignment, there's alignment which is placing something on the same axis. There is this principle called the principle of margin or padding, whatever you'd like to call it. See, when I say margin or padding, it means that the space, the starting point of your design, you have to leave some bleeding space. There's breathing space and there's bleeding space. So you have to leave some bleeding space before you start any element, before the first element of your design starts. So for example, in my canvas, all I have to do is leave at least, is it 2 centimeter, will you call it 2 centimeter, just a space like this, as much as this in every of your design. So I think it's just is it centimeter? Millimeter. So you can just leave a space of about 14.5 millimeter, or if you are the ones if you are the one that use pixels, if you are the type of person that talks about pixels, so you can leave up to um 170, let's say 150 to 170, between 150 and 170 pixels. You can just leave all around your design edges. From your design edge down to where your design is starting from, you have to leave at least 150 pixels in height or in width. So um, that being said, let's just align these guys right here. Now, it is one thing if you are a noob or if you are a newcomer, you can start aligning one by one like this. You can just start aligning them along. Just keep watch of the line here. Or if you are a professional, you can just highlight everything together, highlight everything, uh, and just come here to this align property here. That's the align property can be found here. If you come here, you can just click align here. And if you are using Windows, you might not see the same thing. It may not be the same way for you if you are using Windows, because this is a Mac, and the interface of CorelDRAW on Mac is different from the interface of CorelDRAW on Windows, but there are a lot of similarities. So if you are on Windows and you want to do the same thing, once you press once you get everything together, once you get everything together, make sure make sure that the one you want to align to is actually the one you are clicking last. Okay, so I want this guy, and this guy. Currently, I'm holding my shift, guys. I am holding my shift to select all of these elements together. So if I want to select elements together, all I have to do is hold shift, hold my shift, and click as many elements as I want together. So now the one I am selecting last, which is this green button, this green stuff right here. Once you are done selecting every of your elements, all you have to press is L. If you press the just L, no control L, no alt L, nothing, just press L on your keyboard. Now for me, it's not going to work because this is a Mac, so all I have to do is just click on this back so that everything will align. It will align to the last element that I clicked. So once I'm done, I can just shift everything to my actual line over here. So this is the line I want them to be aligned to. So all I have to do is just make sure that these guys and this guy too are centering each other. Now the reason why this guy and this guy are centering each other and they are not left margin is because the both of them are considered to be one element, right? So this guy and the big box that is standing on are considered to be one element. So if you align them to the left, it is nonsense. So it's because it is considered to be one element, that's why I had to centralize these guys. Do you understand? So now you would see that already we are there's a difference between what we have here and what we are already having currently, and only what we've been using is our left margin, right? So now let's duplicate this guy and bring this guy here. Let's duplicate this guy and bring this guy here, and all we have to do is just um, put this guy into um, into the box here. So all I have to do is just click on the guy and make sure that the guy is also um, also aligned properly to them. In fact, we can just reduce whatever the guy is and make sure that the guy is well aligned to the left to them. The design, we are going to be making it better as we go forward, but for now you guys should understand that alignment, this is left margin alignment currently, guys. So this is left alignment where everything is following the same axis here. Every of your elements are following the same axis. So if you have a logo also, if you have a logo, you can make sure that your logo is also following the same axis with your logo is also following the same axis with the actual design. Do you understand? So let me just make the logo a little bit right. Let's make it right. Okay, let's say this is orange and this right here is just green. That green to dark. Okay. Mm, okay, let's just leave this as our logo. So now if you also have a logo, you just make everything to the left, making sure that everything are starting here from the left. That's what we call left margin. And there's another type of margin that we say is the center, I say margin alignment. We have the center alignment. So what we have to do is to get our center alignment is just making sure that everything is positioned to the center. For example, let's say we have something like this. We have something like this, and we want to position every element to the center of our canvas. So what we have to do is just highlight everything that is on it, and highlight the big box that's now highlighting everything is just me holding shift to pick every holding shift to pick every element on my of my design. I am holding shift currently to pick every element. Then I'm going to pick this the background, and all I have to do is you if you are on Windows, you can press C. If you are on Windows, you can press C. So if you press C, currently you should have the same thing as I have, like this. So you can also do this. So for this guy over here, we can also align this guy to the center to make sure that this guy is. Now this is another way to do the design. Then the last way that we are going to be talking about, which is according, because of alignment, it's not because of anything, because of alignment. The third way we are going to be doing is alignment to the right. The third example of alignment, which is alignment to the right. So once you bring this, let's duplicate this guy over here. Don't worry about duplicating. Currently, don't worry about duplicating. Duplicating for you might be a little bit complicated, but once, for you, if you want to duplicate, you can just highlight everything. Like when you want to highlight everything, all you have to do is come from the outside of wherever you want to highlight. For example, I'm starting from here, and I'm going to click and drag all around what I want to duplicate. So I'm going to click and drag around. So once I drop it, all I have to do is press my Control plus D Control plus D, that's duplicating. So I can then drag around whatever I want. If you press Control plus D, don't click outside until you drag whatever you want away. So once you drag whatever you want away, you can then click outside. So then now we let's revert that back. Let's revert it back. Nice. So now we have another type of alignment that we said earlier, which is alignment to the right. So all I have to do is come here and drag one of my ruler so that I can know where the right is. For example, let's drag this ruler down here so that we can know where right is. We would not just doing anything anyhow. So all I have to do is come here, and for you just press R. If you're on Windows, press R. If you press R, you will get the same thing as I am getting currently. You'll be on the same page like me, and all you have to do is just drag all of your elements to the beginning of the line here. Just drag all of your elements to the beginning of the line. And for this guy right here, you can just bring him to also begin from the right. So now we already have three variations of the same content. We have three variations of the same content, and everything started with this type of design that is not aligned. We have this type of design that is not aligned. So all we did was align our um, properties well. So in this design, there are some elements of design that are here that make sense. For example, the as element, some principle. For example, the principle of contrast is right. The principle of hierarchy is right. Yeah, and white space also to some extent is right. The only thing that is annoying here is the fact that we are not using alignment right. So, and all we have to do is just take every of our elements and wrap them around an aligned property, an alignment. So what we did for the first one is we just um, sent everything to the left such that it's looking like everything is starting from one side, which is left, and this one is the center, and then we have the right margin. So which of these three alignments do you think suits this design best? Let me know your answer in the comment section. Which of this property, which of this alignment suits this design best? I know a lot of you are looking at the center. I also picked the center anyways, if that is your answer. But still let me know which one you love in the comment section. So, and that is going to be a wrap for alignment, guys. Now we'll be moving into contrast. We'll be moving into contrast. The same, we are going to be using this same example, but however, we are going to be distorting some of these examples so that you would understand what contrast means in its entirety. What contrast is in its entirety. So I'm going to be using this. I'm going to be using this. Sorry, let me highlight it well. So now I want to be talking about contrast, guys. So this first one, I'm going to be doing something now which I'm going to explain very soon. So all I have to do is just click on this, and let's say I'm giving you something like this. Yeah. So I think this is going to help us understand contrast very well. I know some of you might be getting angry at whatever we are seeing currently. You might just, it might not be pleasing with you, but just bear with me, stay with me a little bit. You know, Contrast, I believe contrast is the separation of all of your design elements, like making each of your design elements stand out from each other. That is what we call contrast. Making your design elements stand out from each other. Now, if you watched the video yesterday where we talked about we briefly talked about some of this stuff, you would realize that when I was talking about contrast in a brief sentence, I said, contrast is you making sure that whatever is on your design can be seen differently from one another. So if you realize that where we are coming from, the design that we had initially before this, that we turned into this, is giving us the sense of um, every design being seen. But with this, there is a problem with one of our design, and this is one of the reasons why your designs are not coming out well. Now, there are different type of contrast. Yeah, there are different type of contrast, but in this video, we are just going to be talking about a few of them. We are going to be talking about a few of them. So, the ones we are going to be talking about is the contrast by size. We are going to be talking. Let me write it out. The contrast by size, and the second one we are going to be talking about is contrast by color. Then we are going to be talking about let me see contrast by shape, and shape. Then we are going to be talking about the contrast by texture. See, whichever one you are seeing like this, the most important one among these four, the most important type of contrast among these four contrasts is the contrast by color. That's the most important one among all of these four. The most important one is the contrast by color. Every other type of contrast can be categorized under other principles, especially the contrast by size can be categorized under the principle of hierarchy. So the most important one is the contrast by color. And what is contrast? As I said earlier, I said contrast contrast is making sure that all the design elements can be seen one from another. So it means that everything that you are going to be doing, whatever you are going to be doing on your design, make sure that you are not confusing, yes, you are not confusing your users, you are not confusing your users on what they are meant to see. So there is contrast. There are also other type of contrast. For example, there is for professional level, there's something called the contrast by tone, contrast by shade, and contrast by tint. There are different type of contrast here. So it's just for beginners here, beginners now, you have to understand the basic one. Now, which one is the basic one? Is that the most simplest form is that whatever you are going to be using as your background color should be, and I repeat, should be the opposite of what you'll be using for your foreground color. I don't mean opposite in terms of color, but I mean that if you are going to be using a dark shade of color on your design, then whatever is going to come on it should be a lighter complementary color of that shade you are using. I repeat, if you are going to be using a darker shade of color, then whatever color is going to be on your foreground, whatever color you are going to be using on your background color should be a lighter complementary shade color, a lighter complementary color that can stand out well from this thing, and vice versa. So if it's going to be dark background, you are going to be using a light background on it, and if it's going to be a light background, you are going to be using a dark color on it. So for example, let's say we have something like this. Sorry, let me move this out of the way. This is this is a design without this is a design without proper contrast. This is a design without proper contrast. So if we move this and we say we do something like this, let's just duplicate this. Let's duplicate this. Now we would like to use the same we would like to use the same, what is it called, background, because we've used white background in the other design. So we want to use the same background. What do we do? All we have to do is just come and start adding complementary colors of this dark background to our text background. So, and what are those complementary color? We have white. White is complementary enough. Then for this cook tone, we can look for a lighter shade of blue. Let's see something like this. Yeah, we can look for a lighter shade of blue, and the same thing will be for this. Now you will now realize that there is another problem, which is the problem of the contrast that is up here. This lighter shade and this lighter shade they are conflicting. So what we have to do is just come here and give it a darker shade of blue. It's simple. So all we have to do is look for a color that can well complement this blue instead of orange. And what could that color be? Let's look at yellow. Let's look at yellow. Yes, it's working. And or if you can, this also you can just change the color uh, to a lighter shade of blue. Let's see, blue and um, blue and yellow here. So already we have changed the concept of what we have here. We have changed it here. Do you understand? So it is just, contrast is just separating the elements on your design so that it can stand out from each other and is not going to be conflicting. So for most functional designs that you see, most functional designs are because of the contrast that are being used. A design might not have alignment and is functional. That's the truth. When I mean functional, I mean it is passing the right message. Yeah. A design might not have alignment and is functional. A design might not be balanced and is functional. But it is not possible for a design to lack contrast and is still functional, because there's no one that you are going to give this design to that is going to be interested in reading whatever you have here, because these things they are even disturbing mere looking at them, you know. So but if we just switch things up a bit by using the contrast by color, if we switch things up a bit, we could have something cool that people wants to read. Just that. So if you are the one that wants to do the design now, all you have to do is just add a lovely background. Let's look for a food background. Let's look for a food background here. uh okay, let's come to free pick over here. I think this one will give us a wonderful sharp background. Why is it loading this much? Okay, let's just come um, food background. So let's look for a food background to complement our OMG. Uh, my data is gone, guys. So there's probability that maybe in the next videos we're going to be looking at how to add background, and I don't know why is my my data is still on now. Food background. So now this design that I'm doing, guys, this design that I'm doing are not there yet. We are not there. This is just the beginning aspect of our design. We are just beginners now. So some of you might be seeing it as, is that all we've come here to do? There are some crazy designs that we are going to be doing very soon. I'm going to be doing some crazy designs that even you would be surprised that where have I been all this while that I've not been doing designs like this. So so that we would not waste too much of our time, I don't think this is going to come anytime soon. So let's just look for a random background. Let's just look for a random background. Let's pick this. I think we got this. We used this in our last class yesterday. We used this. So what we are going to be doing with it is just going to be um, creating a. We'll let it be creating a background for us. You know. So if you're on Corel Draw, you can just power clip it. If you're on Corel Draw, you can power clip it inside this big stuff here. But if you're on other type of design software, if you're on other type of design software, you probably would have to send it to the last layer. You understand? So you probably have to send it to the last layer. And if you're on Corel Draw, all you have to do is just power clip this. And once you power clip it, uh, you can hold down Alt, Alt on Windows. It is Alt on Windows. You hold down Alt, and if you are on Mac, is Option key. The Option key, you hold it down and you click on it. So then all you have to do is just drag and make it big so that it can cover uh, the whole background. So now you will realize that it is covering our lady. It is covering our lady. So all we have to do is just send this background behind the lady. So let's make it align well. Then all we have to do is just send. And how do you send? You would you can just right click. You can right click, go to order, and send to back of layer. So by that you've already sent um, the the background, that's the image you downloaded just now, you sent it to the last part of the that's we are saying to the back of the layer to go and start whatever we want. So we can then just add some beauty. So all I have to do is come to my transparency tool. For people on Photoshop or on other this thing, you can go to your blend mode and just change the blend mode from normal to multiply, or if you don't like multiply, you can change it to overlay. You can just play around with, you can play around with this, but for me, I think I prefer multiply. So and with just little tweak, we can take our design from this here, we can bring it down to what we have here. So to some extent, with this type of design, you should still be able to get 1000 naira. But you see this one, in fact, they are going to beat you. They will beat you when you finish this type of design. But with this type of design, you should still be able to get 1000 naira for your design. So basically, design general Contrast in its entirety is just making sure that one element is standing out from another. Now we talked about this is the contrast by color. Now contrast by size also is just which is the second type of contrast over here. Contrast by size has also been applied here because you would realize that we want 30 hours to be more important to show well, and that is why 30 hours is bigger than this. We can't um, give both of these the same size and expect the design to come out well. For example, let's say this. Let's say we are giving everything the same size, uh, and we are giving this one too the same size as them all. Let's say we are giving it the same size with them. So it's not nice. It's not nice. It's not going to be in any way nice if we do that. You understand? It's not going to be in any way nice if we do that. And contrast by shape, you'd realize that this one right here is standing out because of its shape. Now, it's different from what we have here. It's different from what we have here because most of these shapes are just empty. So we want users to also see the date. We don't want them to not recognize the date, and that is why we used a shape to bring out this guy over here. That's the date. Then the next one is contrast by texture. You see, contrast by texture is just you adding texture. When we get to the element of texture, we'll talk about texture. It's just you adding texture to a particular design, to a particular element to differentiate it from other elements. Now, if you want to read more about this, you can purchase the course. If you want more about the principle of contrast in its entirety, everything is in the course. It's just cheap. You can go check it out now, and you would understand better how to use the because in the course I broke everything down one after the other, but in this class it is, look at, we're already in 1 hour plus. So in this class it is a live practical example of how to use whatever is in the course. The course is more cumbersome. It has more properties in it, but the class is just making sure that everything you need to know, whatever it is that you need to know about the basic contrast, I am giving it to you. So this is going to bring us to the end of our class. So the assignment right now, the assignment is going to be this. But before I say the assignment, if you have any question, again I repeat, if you have any question, you can, if you registered for this course, if you registered and you're on the group chat, the WhatsApp group chat, just drop your question on the WhatsApp group chat. I'm going to answer any question before the next video. And if you are not on this, if you did not register for this course, for this class, all you have to do is just drop your question in the comment section. One day, or let's say if I get the notification, I'm going to come down right to it and answer it as a video, dropping it and tagging you in particular. So the assignment right now is with what you have learned today, it doesn't have to be cool, like it doesn't have to have crazy this thing. So just make sure that you make a design that has the principle of margin, the indie principle of margin, contrast, and alignment. And you can either align to the left, align to the right, or align to the center, whichever one you want to use. Just make a design that comes out with the principle of alignment. If you want this element, I'm going to be dropping it on the group. So I'm sorry for those that did not register for this course. But if you want this, you already saw where I downloaded it from too. But if you don't want to go through the stress of downloading and blah blah blah, I'm going to be dropping it for people on the group. So you can just pick it up on the group and use it for your design. You can even replicate the same thing that we did here right now. So, and lastly, because this is a free class, I have to always say this. Please don't hesitate to subscribe if this video is something you eventually want, is something that was helpful. Don't hesitate to subscribe. Don't hesitate to hit the like button and the notification bell and all the blah 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 things YouTube used to pay people with, just so that I can, Anyways, thank you guys. I'll see you in the next class. In the next class, we're going to be talking about the last two principles. We are going to be talking about the last two principles for this beginners class. Again, it's for this beginner class, and it's going to be the principle of hierarchy and the principle of white space. White space is important. You have to understand white space. So, to the next class. Bye.